Here's what I'll say about that, though, specifically. I did think it hit the emotional point that it was trying to get. I felt like between him and his dad. And it was at this last moment where he realized, like, oh, I mean, but that's usually how it works, I think, in real life is sometimes we don't know that we, F things up until it's like, oh, we really F things up. And so he's like, oh, I was wrong as his soul is getting sucked out of his body. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, there was still, what I loved about it is it's like, this guy is still not, sorry, I'm going to make a Wreck-It Ralph reference. He's a bad guy, but he's not bad guy. You know what I mean? Like he's the antagonist, but he's still less like, okay, he just misses his wife. He loves her, and he's willing to. I mean, he's seen some crazy stuff over 1,000 years of his life. I mean, he's over 1,000 years old. So like the idea that maybe his wife is still alive somewhere maybe is not as ridiculous to him as to the rest of everybody else. So there are certain things that I can, again, it gets that little pass of like, okay, well, all right, I buy it.
Do you think it hit the same emotional hit that a very similar character arc was with Everything Everywhere All at Once?
It didn't hit quite that same level. Yeah.
Do you want to know why?
If by all means, not enough Michelle Yeoh.
Yes. In short, not enough Michelle Yeoh. No, they could have very easily have had the same impact. The thing that it was missing is they took too long to humanize the dad. Instead of him being like the big boss bad guy at the end, the second to final boss, they made him have that one little moment right there at the end where he's like, I just wanted my wife.
Well,
Go ahead.
my counter is, I mean, we saw him be a good dad for a while with his wife and kids. There was that whole scene where they were just like, they're just a normal, loving family. He gave up the power. He gave up the immortality. He was like, look, I'm just trying to be a good dad. And
then he decided not to be because of some mystical being.
Well, he decided not to be because his wife got killed by people that he should. Because like I would argue that obviously it's a whole different movie if she survives.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If he was there, if he had the rings, or whatever the case may be. But it was his motivation. I thought was good in the sense of like it wasn't, bad guy fight good guy. It was more like he had, this is his son, this is his daughter that he's dealing with, right? And then he's trying to tell them like, look, I believe in something. And what I believe is your mother is still alive. And if there's a chance that we can be with her, I get it. Like, I get when he says like, isn't that worth fighting? Like, isn't that small chance that she's alive, isn't that worth investing, worth fighting for? Again, like if there was maybe an explanation to the Dweller in Darkness's abilities to like manipulate a mind, I think that would have strengthened it in the sense of, okay, like obviously this guy's not, I mean, he's punching this wall. He's not seeing these weird demon flying things coming out of the wall. Like it's kind of like, what's he missing here? I think if they had a way to explain the Dweller in Darkness's ability to manipulate minds and kind of like let him kind of see certain things that he wants to see, or that he loses rationality over the strong emotional feeling he did. Like the Dweller in Darkness took his love for his wife, which is, I believe, a core, like a strong core of his being as a person, ever since he met her, but also ever since he lost her, that it tapped into that specific part of his emotions and his mind and his desires, and kind of just inflamed that emotion for his wife to a point where he wasn't being rational. Like if there was something to show that, I think that might have made it a little bit better. I don't know. I could be wrong.
If there's a lot of character choices that they could have definitely had made to make that part a lot stronger. It feels like the way that they were building it up is that it was going to be a big moment of, hey, you don't have to do this, and then them having that struggle to be like, hey, no, you really don't have to do this, until one of them wins.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And I can understand the emotional aspect of, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, that could be a very valuable lesson for them to both learn and then have to overcome. But that's not how it played off. It played off as, look, this is the struggle that we're having. It doesn't matter though. So why have it? Same with the first like 2 parts of the movie. If it's going to end up where it is, why not expand on the important notes of family more than the buildup of this rest of the world? Why not have everybody like have deeper, more interpersonal connections to the other characters?
Because it's Marvel. Yeah. I mean, look, I think, when we talk about superhero movies, I think there just is an expectation there has to be like, I mean, I don't know how you felt about the first Doctor Strange, because that one was a little bit.
I never saw it.
Okay. That was a little subversion, because it didn't have a huge CGI. It was very simplistic. And it was just like, oh, I mean, he kind of outsmarted the guy that has all power and could kill him immediately. Like, he used the one thing at his disposal that the other being didn't, and he used his head to kind of do it. It was a little lackluster as far as like fanfare. There was no big CGI super battle. You know what I mean? But it was interesting, and I feel like people complain about that just as much as if Marvel did not have a big CGI battle. Maybe some people would be like, "Oh, I actually loved it," but I feel like most people, they want to see something kind of crazy. They want to see that big third act. Now, let me ask you this question. Had a thought. How would you feel if it was more of them, like Shang-Chi and Papa Chi, just like getting possessed by, like, the Dwelling Darkness couldn't come through, but he kind of like powered Wenwu up, and so Shang-Chi's just kind of like, oh crap, like he's getting power now. Maybe like his dad's becoming the avatar for the Dwelling Darkness. Since the Dwelling Darkness physical body can't shift, so we don't have a big flying dragon monster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he's coming to, like, he's actually like possessing him in such a way, and then like we have Shang-Chi's like, oh shoot, he's about to get beat down, and then all of a sudden, the Great Protector, not necessarily like the dragon itself comes up, but from the power of their dimension or where they're at, the power comes and empowers Shang-Chi to continue to fight, and it still just be Shang-Chi, Papa Chi just going at it until there's something like. Would you have liked that better, you think?
I feel like it could have led to a better resolution.
Yeah.
I think that's something that people tend to forget about Marvel movies, is the reason why they were the superior superhero movies was because the characters were all human. Like Iron Man, nobody really cared about Iron Man as like an action movie. They cared about it because they liked the character, Tony Stark, and him overcoming all of the challenges he created himself. Same with all of the other Thor, Captain America. They like the characters for the growth of the characters, not necessarily the action. The action is just the extra piece of it, right? It's the set piece that puts the character together. And any way that they could have ended the movie, whether it was with the big dragon demon fight or with just him and his dad duking it out, no rings or not, if as long as it was motivated by the characters and their desire to grow as characters, it would have made it better.
Do you think like in your version of the movie, do you think that Wenwu would have died at the end?
No.
Or he would have.
No, he definitely would have made it. And the important part about that is, and this is for all my story nerds out there, there's a term called apotheosis, and is an important part of the hero's journey, where the hero understands their fault. And it's not just like I've overcome it. It's this is me. I'm the reason I'm having this problem. I need to fix that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of my gripe, is that Dad never got that. Dad got it like very briefly for just a second. Gone.
As his soul was sucked out of his
gone
body.
forever. There's no consequence for the action. I mean, you could say that his soul being sucked out is the consequence, but there's not like an emotional audience felt consequence to the action.
Right. Because we don't walk around. I mean, maybe some people do, but we don't walk around on a daily fear that our souls are going to get sucked out of our bodies.
Right.
So it's not a real fear.
Right. Well, not even that. It's that his character growth was, I was wrong. Guess I die.
Hey, sometimes it'd be like that.
Sometimes it'd be like that. But how much better would it have been if at the end of it all he got to go back to his dad, and his dad's just broken. Like
gives up the
he
rings.
will never get his wife back. She was never there.
Yeah.
And he's wasted all of this time trying to get her back when he could have spent time with his kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? No. That's a human moment.
Yeah.
In this big, massive battle of whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where we could see our hero, our shining star, pick up his dad in this broken place and go, "It's okay. I hurt too."
Oh.
Right? See, wouldn't that have been nice?
He hurt a lot, though.
He did hurt a lot.
I mean, that guy was hitting him with sticks.
Yeah.
His poor fists were bleeding from punching that wood thing.
And to be honest with you, I think it would have been great to have the rings just drop themselves on the ground as the two of them are fighting it out. Like, neither of you are worthy of this at the moment.
Interesting. I was imagining more at the end when we were just kind of like relinquishing the power to Shang-Chi and just saying like, look, I don't deserve these. I've lived many lifetimes, which, let me just digress for one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
When they first, when Wenwu and all the 10 rings first show up in Ta Lo and they're facing off, and that old guy's talking to him about, he's like, no, we didn't, it's not that we didn't want her here, we didn't want you here, or something like that. And he goes, hey, young man, I've lived 1,000-year lifetimes or 100-year lifetimes or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, you better be careful how you talk to your elders. It was something to that effect. I can't, somebody, write in the comments what the quote was. But that was one of my favorite quotes, is when he just kind of like,
that's kind of cool.
He's like, hey, respect your elders. You know what I mean? And then obviously he looks a lot younger than the old guy. But that being said, like, him relinquishing the wings, saying like, look, I've lived my thing. It's time for me to go be with your mother. And I think that him either living the rest of his life without the power and slowly aging and dying like a normal human, or, to be honest with you, even if he did die at the end of the fight, and you know what I mean, for him to give up the rings and just say, look, now I finally will get to be rejoined to your mother. I'm sorry that I neglected you. I'm sure your mother will let me. She's gonna let me hear about it.
Yeah,
she's gonna let me hear about it when I
moment.
see her. And Shang-Chi getting the rings, and that's how he came by them. I think I could see that. I could see that as, to me, as more impactful one, instead of huge dragon fights. You know what I mean?
Well, let's still have the huge dragon fight. That's cool.
Oh, so it's not the dragon fights you hate. It's
No,
yeah,
it's just the fact that the way that it came about.
yeah.
I'm a big demon. You're like, oh man, what's gonna happen? I also think it would have been interesting if he didn't want the rings at the end, but he got them anyway. What a cool setup that would be for
Like
a sequel.
Like what's his name? Sam Wilson in the Shield. No,
Yeah.
I don't want the Shield.
Yeah.
No, it's not mine, bro.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's like these tore my family apart. I don't want this. And then the second movie could be him coming to terms with the fact that he has to, like a classic superhero movie.
Yeah, I get it. I think. I mean, Yeah, for sure. There would definitely be reasons. I think if I think about that in terms of me, it's just like, oh man, these rings, they tore my family apart. But oh no, they're pretty dang
Unlimited
cool.
power.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just trying them on, see how it feels. You know what I mean? That's like me. I mean, especially in our world, like it's just
Might have torn my family apart, but
it might be different for
they
me.
kind
You
of
know?
did it to themselves, you know?
Yeah, you know, like I'm different than them. Like obviously, I've seen how not to do it, so
Yeah.
I think I know how to.
Like every
mean-
kid when they become a parent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'll do better than my parents.
Yeah, in the comments, what would you take the rings or would you not take the rings? Like,
Yeah.
if that was you, if they kind of the rings kind of tore your family apart, your dad was a power
An
hungry
absent father
yeah,
went out
absent-
for milk and cigarettes and came back with 10 rings instead.
Well, he was there as a dad, but he wasn't there as a dad,
Yeah.
and so
It was
like,
that, hey, you get an A on your homework? No?
and then he just shakes his head in disappointment.
Or even that, you get an A on your homework? Yeah? Cool. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then walk. Yeah, that was the kind of dad he was.
Yeah, I think I think I'd take the rings. You let us know if you would take the rings, man. I don't know. If
For what it's worth, I would too.
I mean, for a regular person, like, I mean, they live in a crazy world.
why
You know,
not? It's
MCU
fun.
with Gods of Thunder and freaking
Spider people.
Hulks and Spider Man and stuff like that. I'd be like, well, yeah, I'll take the rings. Like, shoot. I mean, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I could do much with them because Shang Chi and like even Wenwu, like they had the ability to fight beforehand. Like,
Nah, it's cool. You just, have them like grab stuff from the fridge.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would just like jump around and fly everywhere, like just hop around. And, I don't know. I don't know what I would do with them.
Save on car insurance.
Maybe. Let's talk about the actors. How did you feel about the casting for the movie?
I feel like half of them didn't need to be there.
Oh shoot, who'd you kick out?
Let's see. Sorry, Aquafina. Aquafina. Don't feel like she was necessary.
Nobody's sidekick?
I don't feel
No, but she's the what's it called the
Yes.
the comedic
Relief.
Yeah, the comedic relief.
Yeah, but it's as you said, it's a Marvel movie. Everybody's a comedic relief. They all have their moments.
Yo, and Black Panther Wakanda wasn't. T'Challa wasn't.
That's okay.
He would never crack a joke.
Good. That makes him better than everyone else.
Rest in power, King.
I mean,
Okay.
of the
No,
top build
Awkwafina.
cast. Yeah.
Okay.
Of the top build, that's it. I feel like most of the side characters are just side characters.
I just forgot. I just remembered. Freaking what's her name from Everything Everywhere All at Once is in this movie as well.
Stephanie?
Yes. She was in this movie as well.
Yeah, she can stay.
Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie. both in Everything Everywhere All at Once and Shang-Chi. Okay.
Yeah.
Who else?
There's just the old lady on the bus, Lynette Caron. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, she needs work too.
For like speaking parts, the cast was pretty tight. I mean, as I'm looking at it, there's like 6 people who had lines, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I don't think Aquafina should have been in there. I feel like the ending battle was a bit bloated. I feel like there were too many people. I know it's like big epic fight, but I don't think it needed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, good on you for getting actors more work. Good job. Maybe cut it down a little bit so that you can spend more time on the other things. But I mean, yeah. As it is, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing against Aquafina. So Aquafina, if you ever want to come on here, you can take his place. You can take his place. You can be my co-host because I love you. I think you're amazing, and I think you're an integral part of the movie. and irreplaceable in this world, not just Shang Chi. But I will say, Simu Liu. I mean, this was a big deal for him. I think he played the part well. I thought he did
Oh
extremely
yeah, no,
well.
he did fantastic.
I mean, yeah, like it's one of those
Yeah,
things where
I can't
he's
complain
Shang-Chi.
about his
Like,
job.
yeah, he did
did
great.
Ben Kingsley.
Oh, Ben Kingsley. I mean, he's always. I love Ben Kingsley just as an actor in general. So, I mean, his parts were funny as well. I loved,
Yeah.
just the goofiness of his character. Ever since was it Iron Man? Was it 3? Yeah, I think Iron Man
so.
3. So I love this character. Hey, full-time movie fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you. So don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it being more.